Hello and welcome back to The Rabbit Hole. We are your hosts, I'm Carrot.
And I'm Chloe.
And we got something fun for you today that I don't know what it is, to be honest.
This is one that I'm excited to do.
Oh, okay. You want to give us a little...
into this. So today's episode is going to be about the internet's first online black market.
Oh.
And how that all went down.
Can't we get, in, trouble?
No.
I'm not one to go jail today.
No. I mean,
No,
the guy
I
who
thought...
did it's already been arrested, so...
Oh.
But we'll get to that.
Okay.
And how they found him, how it all went down, we'll get there.
Yeah. I'm scared.
Ready?
No, I'm ready. Go on.
So, before we start Before we start to talk about the actual website itself, we need to have a little bit of background about the guy who created it.
So is this going to be like a Mark Zuckerberg type thing? Kind
of. He was a bit of an entrepreneur, this guy. He did a lot.
Yeah.
Ross Ulbricht, he was born March 27th, 1984 in Austin, Texas. His friends called him the Ross Man because he was so down to earth. He was described as carefree but also caring. As a child, his parents signed him up for the Boy Scouts, and it was in the Boy Scouts that he learned the value of following the rules to get ahead of other people.
I don't think he stuck to that.
He didn't. So he followed the rules until high school, whereas this is when he was like, what if I just didn't follow the rules a little bit?
What if I just went off the rails?
What would happen if I just broke the rules a little bit? So he started off small, staying out late past his curfew, smoking marijuana with his friends.
Is it
marijuana? Marijuana?
Just say weed. Just say weed.
But then he was like, nah, this is not doing it for me. So he decided to experiment with much harder drugs like mushrooms and LSD. So you must be thinking this probably is where it all goes downhill for Mr. Ross. But it's not.
Sorry, Mr. Ross Anita?
Rossman.
Oh.
Mr. Rossman.
Ross Anita.
So he finishes high school. He studied really well. He went to the University of... Sorry, let me start again. Before all that... he became an Eagle Scout. So that's one of the little higher-ups in Boy Scouts because he was so rule-abiding and did what he was told. And he received a scholarship to the University of Texas at Dallas. He majored in physics.
Oh. So smart guy then.
He was really clever. He majored in physics and got a grad school scholarship to Penn State. Penn State in your last episode.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. So he was a successful student, but he was living a bit of a double life because at home he was this well-respected man, Eagle Scout, did physics at university. But then when he wasn't at home, he was partying, he was doing all kinds of drugs,
But also the smart ones are the dangerous ones because they have, the brains to figure all this out and to, create all of this.
But while he was in Penn State University, he kind of felt a little bit trapped. He was like, I'm not really liking physics. There's no money. What if it leads to no money? What if it's dead end? So he was kind of a little bit, stuck. He felt trapped. But he actually graduated. After he graduated, he read a book that really stood out to him because there was a quote in the book that said, if a citizen is not free economically, they'll never be free. So he was like, I need to get rich. I need to make money. So
I need to Jeff Bezos this.
Not quite yet, but he was getting there. So after graduating in 2009, he gave up physics and decided, I need to get rich. Okay. So he started working for a company called Good Wagon Books. It was a company that sold used books online.
So that was better than physics. Sure.
He did so good at this job. He built the website. He built a program that determines the prices of books by how well rated they were on Amazon. So he created that program. He did so well that when the owner left, he handed the company over to Ross.
Oh, Ross Anita? Rossman?
Yeah, and the Good Wagon Books thrived under Ross. He did it really well.
So that wasn't enough for him?
Well, he loved the power of having his own company so much that he was like, how can I combine the things that I love, drugs and money, with web design?
Oh, no, with books.
Yeah. So while he's thinking of this website, he runs into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. It's basically digital money. Trying to tell you what Bitcoin is.
Yeah, please tell me, because I'm not that sure.
Yeah. So basically, it's bought with real money, usually with a debit or credit card, and then it's stored in a digital ledger book. I've just lost you. I can.
It seems like a scam, not gonna lie.
Yeah. And it's not based on central banking, so it doesn't you can't convert it into pounds or dollars. It's based off of how much of a demand there is for it. So the higher the demand for Bitcoin is, the more valuable it is. You'll and the
Bitcoin.
most importantly is that it's not tied to the government. So Mr. Rossman is like, money that isn't tied to the government and can't be traced. I need to make a website that uses Bitcoin.
I'm confused.
So his idea for the website was a place where people could buy whatever they wanted, like drugs. Because Ross believed that all drug use was personal, and that the government shouldn't try and get in the way of people's
because
personal
everyone
choices.
needs hard drugs.
Yeah,
apparently.
so he saw an opportunity to create that freedom of choice that he believed in.
What else did he Oh, you get into that?
Oh, it started off with drugs, but Ross's main problem now was that selling drugs is illegal and you can't do that. But the dark web is super secret. You can't access it on the normal web, so you can't just Google dark web and find it.
And like I said, I swear it's illegal. If you're on that, the FBI are looking at you
Yeah, so unlike cryptocurrency, it's actually anonymous, so no one's gonna.
How did they get onto the dark web then?
You have to have a specific web browser and all that stuff. It's really hard to
Firefox. I haven't seen that in a while. My nan had Firefox on her Nokia Windows.
But because of how anonymous it is, and it's so unregulated, that it's an easy place for people to avoid censorship. So certain websites or journalists, it's a good way to be.
What are they doing?
Posting stuff on there.
Scared?
So the dark web is home to everything from illegal weapons, stolen credit card information, fake IDs. So this was the perfect place, Ross thought, for his new website.
Because it does not seem illegal at all.
But Ross, Mr. Rossman, he ran into another problem, is that he has no drugs to sell.
Oh, Ross. You can't set up a drug empire with no drugs?
The drugs that he wants to sell. So Mr. Ross goes to the normal Google, not dark web Google.
You can't just Google, where do I find drugs?
And he finds out that it's actually really easy to make mushrooms at home. Magic mushrooms at home. So he makes £10 of magic mushrooms, and he goes onto the normal Google and he advertises. His username is Silk Road. That's the name that he decides to give. I've
heard of Silk Road.
Yeah, so that's
probably
the username,
from you.
That's the username he used, and he told everyone, hey, you want to buy magic mushrooms? Come to this website. And he sold all 10 bags in just under a week.
How did everyone get access to it? Did they hand out a password?
Yeah, well, so he was doing well on his own, and then a website on the normal web called Gorka said, hey, look at this guy selling drugs on the internet. so
Ads, where it's hot singles near you, mushrooms.
So they wrote an article about the Silk Road, and everyone wanted in on it.
What?
Yeah, loads of people wanted to start selling their drugs on the dark web, so he set up a fee, so he'd get commission on sales that other drug dealers.
So he did Jeff Bezos.
He did. He basically got money from other people selling drugs, but he ran into another problem. Mr. Rossman's having a lot of problems. He's the only person running this site. He needs help. He can't do it on his own. So he receives an email by someone under the screen name Variety Jones. His real name was Roger Clark, but obviously Mr. Ross didn't know that. No one knew what his real name was. He went by Variety Jones. And he emails Ross and says, hey, I'm an internet hacker.
Hey.
And he noticed a hole in Silk Road's code that would allow other hackers to steal all of his Bitcoin. So he's like, yo, you need to change that. So Ross instantly repairs his website, fixes it.
On it like a car bomb.
Variety Jones becomes kind of like his mentor because he's used to all this
his
crime.
Like Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and he says to Ross that he needs to change his username. He can't go by this. It's not safe enough because what he's doing is very illegal. So he suggests that Ross goes by the name Dread Pirate Roberts, which is from The Princess Bride, if you've ever seen that movie. It's basically the pirate who's, like, the best at what he's doing.
Isn't that a bit too on the nose?
But if anything was to happen, Ross could pass off that name to someone else, and then he'd become the Dread Pirate Roberts, and then, so it can be anyone. Just, yeah. So he goes by Dread Pirate Roberts. And now, so after he does that, he goes to all the websites that he posts on and deletes his old posts. Like, no one can know that this is me.
He really he purged his whole.
He did. So after he did that, he hired employees, like Variety Jones, and paid them all in Bitcoin.
He Wolf Streeted them.
He did. He paid them all in Bitcoin.
Wall Street.
Names. We have names. Digital Alchemy, Smedley, and Cirrus were all his employees. Their screen names, not their real names.
Can we have them names again?
Digital Alchemy, Smedley, and Cirrus.
This sounds like Disney villains. This is like, you know, the ones that robbed Sleeping Beauty.
So that's like them his fairies. Empire of drug dealers.
Did he sell like magic stones as well?
The new Silk Road website, after he'd like redone it, had. This is a quote by a historian. Helpful icons for cannabis, ecstasy, opioids, and a seller's guide for how to vacuum seal drugs and hide them in packages. And another quote was that it's hilariously similar to Amazon, including a cart in the left up-hand corner.
Oh, that's funny.
So he's like, yes, this is the freedom I've been searching for. But this whole time, there's been another character lurking in the background. And that character is Homeland Security. They're not going to let this go. They need to find out what is going on. So Homeland Security, it covers like cyber, border security, and they look for terrorists, which is kind of like a big deal if Silk Road is on their little radar.
Yeah.
So there's one agent called Jared.
Go on, Jared. Go on.
So he gets a call from someone called Mike, who worked as a border protection officer, and Mike's like, "Hi, Jared. So we found this piece of mail. It has like a single pink pill in it. It's got a little squirrel on top of it."
Sus.
Yeah. So Mike is like, "Yeah, there's a little pill," and Jared's like, "That's not much of a big deal, but call me if you find anything else." But Jared is like, I'm gonna keep on looking for this man. So Jared said he can't fly out, but he gave him his number in case it happens again.
Right.
Yeah.
So Jared's onto it.
Jared,
but no one's listening.
Jared is not letting any drugs get into this country. Jared is like on the ball. He's looking for it.
My man.
Yeah. So over the next few months, he checked mail, and in October of 2011. Mr. Mike found another pink pill in the mail. So he called Jared.
Like just in the post, like mail, like letter?
Like in a single pink pill in someone's like parcel, like letter.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so he calls up Jared, and Jared's like, "Yeah, there's more pink pills that are being found in Chicago O'Hare Airport," which is the one that they filmed in.
Wait, airport? They were taking this through the airport? Who do they think they are? Like, they're gonna get like banged up abroad?
They said that a number of pills have been found there. It used to be 3 to 5 pills every other day, and there was now between 30 and 50 pills found every single day. So, and they were all addressed to people like in their homes, like individual people to their homes, like Amazon. Drugs with Prime.
Did they have their own like stickers, like, you know, the way Amazon has like them? Yeah, was it like a Silk Road?
Yeah, so Jared now has enough evidence to perform a knock and talk.
Basically not a knock and talk.
So Jared goes to this address and he knocks on the door, and a guy opens the door. It's the guy's roommate. It's not the guy who ordered
And the
drugs.
guy is... Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I'm on
the
it.
roommate answers, and Jared's like, yo, you know, just anything about your roommate's parcels? And he straight up goes, yeah, he's been ordering a lot of drugs online. And he's like,
sold them out.
yeah, and he's like, what? And he basically just like diarrhea spills everything to Jared. And
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. Some website called the Silk Road. He's been ordering drugs from there. So Jared's like, I'm onto something now.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay. So Jared goes back, and he's on like his database.
Oh.
And he's trying to search. Like, he's like, surely I'm not the only one who's like found this. Surely they're talking about this. No, there's nothing about Silk Road on there. Like little,
It's like, and I would have got away with it as well if it wasn't for you Midland
so
kids.
it's not on. There's no open cases, basically.
That's
So he's
weird,
like,
though. You think that they'd be on that?
So he's like, what if I just Google Silk Road? You know what he finds? He found, you know that article I was telling you about? The Gorka article? He finds that, and he's like, Silk Road.
That's evidence enough, isn't it?
Yeah. So he's like, gotta find it. So we find out that people basically use Silk Road as a safer alternative to buying drugs, as in like there's no shady back alleyways, no police chases.
It's just a little parcel
just
through
a little
your little letterbox.
And
Don't let your dog eat that
there was
parcel.
also community posts on Silk Road that held people accountable, helped people stop becoming too addicted, like criminals helping criminals. They found out that 20% of all drug users come from Silk Road, and it was
of life,
like 20% of all drug users had bought from
oh my
Silk
god,
Road.
that's
And
a
it caused
lot.
6 overdoses.
Really?
So investigators now were like, need to sort out with this. So they reach out to the FBI, but unfortunately drug use is not in jurisdiction of the FBI.
Oh.
But Silk Road had expanded to illegal weapons, hacking, fake IDs, fake
How do you
social
sell hacking?
like hacking for hire. Like, you go hack this website and I'll pay you to do it.
Like, is that when people hack like Instagrams?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, right.
Fake social security numbers and even murder for hire.
It's like bounty hunters. Okay, that took like a step.
Kind of like a woman being like, yo, kill my husband and I'll give you 10 grand for it.
Oh, okay. That took it. That went from 0 to like 1,000.
Yeah. So in September of
To murder.
in September of 2012, FBI cyber branch. Their goal is to find the server of.
Okay.
Like, they need to find where it's set. So everyone, and another thing, everyone, literally the whole world, well, not the whole world, but people online were trying to find who the Dread Pirate Roberts was. They wanted to know who was behind it.
Who's the Ross man?
There was lots of conspiracy theories. Some people believe that it wasn't even a person at all. It was just very highly intelligent AI.
Like a bot?
Yeah. So, one investigator called Ken Force went undercover as the name he went undercover of is so like ridiculous. I don't even want to say it because it sounds like a bad word.
Do you want me to read it?
No, he went under the screen name Knob. And
I feel like that's only funny in the UK.
And decided to go on there posing as a cocaine dealer. But he messages he messages the Dread Pirate Roberts and says, yo, sales aren't big enough for me.
No.
I don't like it, not big enough.
Bit of a diva knob.
So Dread Pirate Roberts is like, we need to keep him on as a dealer. So at least he's looking out for his dealers.
Fellow dealers.
So he messages, do you remember Chronic Pain? He was one of the people.
Was he the Obi-Wan?
No, that's
the mentor?
Variety Jones. But there's another character called Chronic Pain, and he messages him and was like, yeah, we need to keep him on as a dealer. So Chronic Pain decides to get this cocaine shipped to his home address. Remember, Knob is the FBI investigator. So they found him and was like, we're going to arrest you. Turns out that Chronic Pain was a guy called Curtis Green. He was a grandfather and an ex-poker player. Someone's granddad. Yeah.
What was he doing, selling drugs?
So
should have been planting vegetables.
Yeah, so he turned on Ross fast. He was like, not like he told them everything. He said that he said everything in exchange for freedom, basically. So they said, you know what, we'll let you go. So Ross finds out, Dread Pirate Roberts finds out, and he messages Knob and was like, yo, Chronic Pain is stealing my money. He thinks that that's what's going on.
Right.
And he asks him if he knows anyone who could murder Curtis and get his money back. Remember, he's investigator, so he's just exposing himself there. So he lies and says he knows someone who can do it for 80,000 in Bitcoin. Ross agrees on one condition, that the investigator provides proof of death. He wants proof that he's dead.
What is proof of death? Is that like a
Just
little...
like a little picture. So they fake it. They fake it.
How do you fake a picture of a dead person?
So they get
someone to pretend to be asleep.
Down, and they fake death pictures. And at that point,
It's a weird
Ross
photo
speaks
shoot.
out. Ross is like, I didn't actually want you to go through with it. You know, it's disturbing.
Why? Why ask and then get offered money and then be like, oh yeah, and then be like, oh no,
Yeah,
sorry,
so
still know you could
now-
actually go through with it.
Now he's hired a hitman, so that's another thing.
Yeah, that's murder.
So
Is what that is.
But he did it on 4 other separate occasions. So the FBI now have 5 different occasions of Ross trying to get people
Murder.
killed for money.
Murder.
So in summer of 2013, a coding error leaked the IP address of the Silk Road server,
Ah.
and the FBI find that it's located in Iceland.
2018.
2015.
That's
2013,
recent.
2013. 2013.
we went through the ages
Yeah.
then.
But they didn't think that that's where Ross was. They suspected that he paid someone to run it in Iceland.
So
that
he was making like cash, like he was making money.
I'll get to the end about how much money he
okay.
made. Yeah. So they decided to not take down the server then and there because they didn't want Ross to know that he was being watched, basically.
They wanted to like trick the like trickster, would you say? Was he
They
kind
just
of a
didn't want him
trickster?
to know so that he didn't delete everything, and they have no evidence. So they didn't take him down, but they made a mirror of the website so they could see all of the transactions.
Sorry, I just got freaked out because I saw... Oh, okay. I think there's an actual person. I just saw like a shadow of someone. I was like,
I'll start again.
sorry.
So they didn't take down the website because they didn't want Ross to know that he was on their radar. But they made a mirror so they could see all the transactions being made. They could see how much people were spending, where it was going, when people logged on.
Oh.
They could see when Ross logged on. And they found out that over 2.5 years of the website being up, there had been over 1 million transactions made, and 100 million in revenue. So he was a millionaire.
No.
Yeah. So
Smart
now
people are scary.
Yeah, so they had access now to all of Ross's activities, where it was being run. They found out that it was ran on a laptop in an internet cafe in San Francisco. So remember Jared? He finds out that they have like a lead.
Is Jared Knob?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to be sure.
No,
Got
it wasn't.
confused.
It was an investigator. Cut that bit out.
Different.
Different person. Ignore that. So Jared's
Okay.
the guy who works in the airport.
So Jared's not... I thought Jared was the police.
No, he worked in the airport.
Oh, okay.
He intercepted.
I'm on it. I think I'm on it. I get what you're on about.
He intercepted.
Because he was getting the drugs, but not for
But
him.
he was caught-
He was finding them.
Oh no, Mike. No, sorry, I'm getting so confused.
Sorry, I'm confusing you.
Mike worked in the airport, and Jared was the guy who he called when he found pink pills.
I'm on it.
So Jared finds that there's a lead, and that he intercepts 36,000 drugs from coming in.
Oh.
Yep. They also found Cyrus, and they arrested him. He was one of the guys who worked for...
One of the ones that sounds like a Disney character.
Yeah, so they arrested him, and Jared takes over his account.
Oh.
So now he can message
Dread
Pirate Roberts.
Oh.
So he talked to him that often that Ross promoted him to assistant manager.
Oh,
So they talk about
okay.
everything, like not even like drug related things. Like they'd be like bonding.
They were
talking
just
about-
besties.
They become besties.
Couple of
talking about-
besties.
Yeah, they're talking about what films they like, what music they listen to.
Oh.
They become buddies. But they still couldn't figure out who Dread Pirate Roberts was.
So even though they were pure best mates,
They just couldn't
He
get
couldn't
him.
figure out that it was him.
They couldn't get him to do it. But there was a separate investigation over fake IDs. So they were being sent to an address. Separate investigation, nothing to do with Silk Road. They go to the address that the fake IDs are addressed to. Guess who answers the door?
Oh, it's not Rossman.
It's the Ross
It's
man
not
himself.
Rossman. Oh.
And he's like pictured in the IDs, and Ross is like,
Oh.
yeah, he goes, yeah, I got them from this website called Silk Road. Thought he'd help them out a little bit.
Oh.
And they just let him off with the warning. Go back. They had him
Rossman?
right there, and they didn't even know.
Rossman, what are you doing?
So he tells them about Silk Road, and he lets them go. So Jared hears about this, and he's like,
Sus.
He's like putting the pieces together. He's like trying to figure it out. So he met Agent Gary from the IRS, because the IRS are not letting this guy make millions and not getting tax. Like they want in on this investigation.
Not even that. It's just like drugs and bad.
No.
Like
So Gary from the IRS is like, you know what? I'm gonna search on Google. He searched over 1,000 pages on Google. I can't make it past page 2. If I can't find what I'm looking for, I'm giving up.
I say on the first page. I don't even go to page
so he
2.
searches over
What's he
1,000
search?
pages. He just searched like Silk Road. He was looking for like anything to do with Silk Road on the normal web.
100 pages.
So he discovers a forum about Bitcoin. Someone asking how to make and sell drugs. And you know what the username was? Silk Road. So he's like looking for all posts under the username Silk Road. So Ross made a mistake and didn't delete all of them like he said he was doing. So he finds a post, him posting about asking about web design. Anyone who knows how to do website, to email him at rossalbright@gmail.com.
Oh no!
So Gary has this is the first time they've had like a name to put to the Dread Pirate Roberts.
I know I've already said it, but Anna got away with it as well, wasn't for you meddling
so Gary
kids?
and Jared meet up and they like exchanging notes, right? So
And
they're like,
does he know by this point that he
point,
knows
they're
that
like-
it's him, and then he knows that it's him?
but Ross he doesn't know that people know it's him yet.
No, I
So
see
they're
it.
discussing notes and they're like, you know what? Yeah, it is. It's Ross. So they go to like this internet cafe that Ross is at, and they've got their laptop that has the mirror of Silk Road, so they can see when Ross logs in, and they're matching it up and like, no, this is our guy. So within 10 days, the FBI got an arrest warrant, and the investigation team headed down to San Francisco. So they're on the way to bust his ass. They're not holding back. So they're watching him from like a park bench to see if it matches up, and it does. Like when Ross logs in, Dread Pirate Roberts logs in.
I bet you they were pure like watching like,
They were so
we got
excited.
him, we got him.
So, Jared.
They were so excited.
Jared is messaging them because he's still got. He's still on.
He's like got membership. He's like he's
still
pure.
got-
He's like what the Prime Minister of
He's
Silk
still
Road.
logged in
Like
as chronic pain, I think it was.
chronic pain.
Yeah, so
not
he's
knob.
logged in. Not knob.
Not
no.
knob.
So he messages Ross to tell him that there was something wrong with one of the Bitcoin transactions, because to be able to fix it, he has to pull up a certain screen that only he can get up on his laptop. So when they seize the laptop, if they see that screen, they know it's him.
Yeah.
So he does that. So that's basically to confirm it. But something went wrong, and not everyone was there yet, so they had to wait. So they're like, you know what, let's improvise. So they start heading in. There's a woman sat at the end of the table where Ross is. Turned out to be an FBI agent. So she snatches his laptop.
Oh, right, okay.
And hands it to an FBI agent. And they look at the laptop, and he's logged in on the Dread Pirate Roberts. Like, this is our
they
guy.
got him. They got him.
So they arrested him there and then and charged him on 7 accounts, including drug trafficking, money laundering, computer hacking, and he got a rare charge that is what's the word? It's reserved for. It's called the Kingpin Statute, which is reserved for mafia members and cartel leaders. So this is some high level charge.
Okay.
So he was also charged with the murder for hire.
Yeah.
So in January of 2015, that's when his trial began, and after 12 days, he was found guilty, and he received 2 life sentences and 40 years.
So that's a life sentence is like 25 years?
No, 2 life sentences.
No, but isn't that 25 years?
I think it's more than that.
Oh.
Maybe.
I don't know.
So we got 2 of those and 40 years. And because it was a federal crime, there was no chance of parole. But it had a big impact on crypto. It expanded. While he was in prison, there was a Silk Road 2.0 that was...
Oh, God. He didn't know when to quit, did he?
But that was shut down after a year.
How did he do that from prison?
He didn't. It was someone else.
Copycat.
Yeah, but that was shut down after just 1 year. But there's still websites called like Dark Market in 2021 that followed in Ross's footsteps. And that's still a website. I don't know how you get to it.
Don't look for it. You will go to prison. Don't look for it.
Yeah. That's the story of Mr. Rossman and the
that's quite... See, I thought that happened a while ago, but that's more recent than I thought it was. Yeah. Quite interesting.
A little bit of an entrepreneur, Mr. Rossman.
He was like Jeff Bezos, but like evil
Illegal.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Evil Jeff Bezos.
He's still in prison now.
Yeah, well, he will be.
He'll be in prison forever.
For 2 lifetimes and that. Yeah.
For a website.
What?
For a website.
Yeah, but murder as well, not just a website.
Murder for hire.
Yeah, murder. But yeah.
It's Mr. Ross and
Mr. Ross, man. Oh. Don't look for the website. Don't try to look.
To physics.
Should have just stuck to physics.
Or at least good wagon books. At least.
He could have made a fortune from that alone by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Just don't go off the rails. Stick to the stuff, if we've learned anything from this.
Unless it's drugs.
Don't stick to drugs. Don't stick to drugs, please, if we've learned anything from this episode. Yeah. We've been The Rabbit Hole, and thank you for joining us on this episode. Again, don't search for the dark web, please.
You will get sent to prison.
Yeah, and you will stay there for a very long time. So just don't do it. It's not worth it.
Mr. Ross.
You don't want to search it. With risk, he'll be your new mate. Yeah. We've been The Rabbit Hole.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode.
We have. We like having these little chats. We get so carried away. We're in it. We're
just talkative.
Yeah, we really are. Even this outro's about 5 hours long. Yeah. We're gonna end it here. Thank you for watching. We've been The Rabbit Hole. See you later.
Bye.